All right, start with an opening statement from Coach, and we'll take questions.
I mean, it's a neat deal that on December 22nd, with the number one ranked basketball team in the country, that this room is full and that you're here to talk about football and a game that Team 122's lifespan has about 11 days left. And you heard Coach B talk about it, you heard Seth talk about it. Each team is its own unique entity, and this group has been really special. And give Brent Brennan all his due respect and one, his love for this place, and two, what he's been able to accomplish, because he sets the tone for this program. He's not a micromanager, which is awesome to work for, but we follow the direction of Coach Brennan in the building, from how we're going to recruit, how we're going to play, you hear Redline, and it's neat, and I know early on it was like, I'm tired of hearing this, but the kids kept breathing it, and over, kept talking it, and it's what they believe, and it's how they play. And Team 122 has the opportunity to be as special as 4 other teams in the history of this football program. Larry Smith did it in 1986. They won 10 games. Coach Tomey did it in 1998. Coach Rodriguez did it in 2014. Coach Fish did it in 2023, and I've sat up here numerous times and said we want to recreate the magic of that. In the 100 years of history of Arizona football, those 4 plus one other team besides us had the opportunity to win 10 games. The 72nd team in 1975, 9-1 going into the last game of the season against an undefeated team from up north, and the team from up north wins. That's the only other team that had an opportunity to win 10 games and didn't do it. So we've got a great opportunity on January 2nd against an unbelievable opponent. And then that will kickstart Team 123. And if Team 123 has the opportunity to be longer than a year, then something's pretty special around here. And I sat up here in August, and I said, let's go compete for a conference championship. Let's go get to the Rose Bowl. And y'all thought I was nuts. And we're probably a fumble recovery away from having an opportunity to play in a championship game. We have 2 corners with a chance to recover a fumble against BYU. And our worst 2 games on defense, Houston and BYU, kept us out of having a chance to play in the CFP. So we've got a hungry group coming back that believes in the red line mantra, that believes in what we do. And, we talked about creating magic and this being a special place. Coach Lloyd's created magic over there, and they're going to have a chance to win a national championship in March. Why not us? Why not? I believe in it, and this place is great. I sat up here in March also, and now I'm gonna strut some peacock feathers, because I sat up here and talked about some of the special things that we could do. There's 12 statistical categories in my opinion that determine where you are defensively. In 10 of the 12, we're top 20. In 5 of the 12, we're top 5. We're actually top 3. And in 2 of them, we're the best in the country. In turnover margin, in pass efficiency defense, we're 3rd in passes yards allowed. We're 10th in yards per play. We're 16th in total defense. We're first in the country, 2nd in the country behind Texas Tech in gain turnovers, and SMU's 1 turnover behind us. So it's going to be a great battle on January 2nd to see who can lead the nation in turnovers. We got 3 to make up in the margin because Tech got 4 in their championship game. Why not? We've had 3 games this year for the first time in Arizona football history with 5 or more turnovers. Why not make it a 6th? That's the challenge. And SMU's going to do a great job of taking care of the football, so we're going to have to go and earn it. These are the best statistical numbers since the Desert Swarm era. And I sat up here a long time ago and said I don't want to disrespect that with what they are, because in the history of football, both NFL and college football, you've got the Steel Curtain, you've got the Purple People Eaters. You've got eras that people talk about. And when people talk about the Desert Swarm, everybody knows exactly what they're talking about. And you've always heard Desert Swarm 2.0, this and that. This is the best opportunity at that since that era of football. We are statistically in the category of being able to be with them. Now we can go screw it up on January 2nd. So we still have another opportunity to go and finish this thing off and stick a sword in the 25 season. So, the credit, once again, starts with Brent Brennan. And then we're good on defense also because of Seth Dagey. We're like 3rd in the country with touchdown drives of 8 plays or more. I mean, that's some impressive stuff. And that when the offense is out there and they're driving the ball like that, like the 13-play drive to seal the game against the team up north, they're not gaining a single yard and they're not scoring a point. And I'm standing there just like this, watching the football game, climbing up in the defensive rankings just like this because of Seth Dagey. And all that love fest that we talked about way back in December 13th when they hired Seth Dagey. And then they promoted me, and everybody was like, well, that sucks. We're going to be terrible again on defense. Well, guess what? I absolutely love when people tell me I can't do something. Absolutely freaking love it. Because you have to be willing to bet on yourself in anything you do. And that's Brent Brennan. When we had a tough 24 and I sat up here and talked about 24 and threw some shots, Brent Brennan knew exactly who he was and what he was going to do with this program. And now we have to double down because we're in a league that we can go win a conference championship. Anybody in this league, all 16 teams in this league can win it any year. It's going to come down to developing and evaluating. And give Ben Thenis credit. Because when Geiska Crowley decided to go be the general manager at Arkansas, and good luck to him, and he did a fantastic job for us, and when you have success in your program, people come sniffing around and they want to take away pieces of that success. Well, Ben's had to step into that role, and we're having a great role of kids re-signing to come back next year, which is fantastic. Okay, there's momentum in that. And then when all those conversations start, they start talking to each other in the locker room about what this is, and those guys are building Team 123 off of the momentum of 122. So give Ben Thenis a lot of credit because he stepped in a very, very sensitive time to lose a general manager because they handle all those conversations so that the coaches don't have to deal with that nonsense, which it's become, but it's the reality of it, so it's good for the kids. It's awesome. But Ben's done a great job of stepping up, and now we have Aaron Knotts who's going to get thrown into a hornet's nest, which is awesome. Okay, find out who can swim and who can't. And Aaron's been fantastic in the short time that he's been here from this morning, and then getting able to sit in there on the interview and listen. We've got momentum. On the staff side of it, what Joe Salavea did up front, give him a ton of credit because in the last game of the season, we're playing with 4 healthy D linemen. And those 4 were playing their tails off. Give Josh Brungell a ton of credit. The linebackers did a great job of having to go in there when we were on 4 and 5 linebacker packages and execute and be able to do what we're asking them to do inside of a week when we're putting new stuff in. Chip Viney and Brett Arce. And I'll give Dwayne Aquina is probably the greatest secondary coach to ever coach this game. Those guys didn't skip a beat, did a fantastic job. Now, Brett got to spend 2 years with Coach Aquina. Brett and Chip are 2 elite secondary coaches in the country. We have an unbelievable staff on our side of the ball. We have an unbelievable staff on the offensive side of the ball with Coach Daggy and what those guys have done. But I get a lot of attention on social media and all that stuff. The only reason I get that attention is because, first, it starts we have great players. And second, we've got an unbelievable staff that can teach, evaluate, and develop. And Team 123 has a lot of excitement because those guys can teach and develop. And so it's fantastic. Team 123's we wanted to create magic in Tucson. So now here's the challenge out to the 520. Okay? And I'm just going to say this right now, and all this stuff will come out later. I'm not going anywhere. I've had plenty of opportunity. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be the defensive coordinator at the University of Arizona next year to try and win a 6-conference championship for this school and have a chance to make a CFP run. And I'm excited to do it with Team 123. I can tell you that. I'm excited as hell. And the challenge to the city of Tucson is we've created the magic. We're going to upgrade the stadium. And it starts with Desiree at the very top and her commitment to this football program. She doubled down last December after the last game of the season and said, Brent Brennan is my football coach. And she's a damn genius because he's done a phenomenal job. And she's supporting this program. Casino del Sol, what an awesome, awesome deal that is. So now we have a moniker for the stadium. And that place, Tucson, needs to be packed when we open up next August. It needs to be packed. And hey, guess what? They did it up in Tempe. Let's sell out every single game next year. We've given you an opportunity to have a great football team. So let's go have some fun together because winning is freaking outstanding. So I'm excited. I love this place and the 5-2. Let's go have fun together. So Coach Shear, was that short enough for you? We good? Okay.
Start with Justin and then Troy.
So we asked Coach Brennan this. Just what are your thoughts on potential opt-outs, healthy players potentially sitting out this bowl game? If they approach you to that, what's just kind of your response?
I think it's every player has to decide what best fits their situation. And no different than when Riley Wilson couldn't play against Kansas State. He got dinged up at the end of the week, and we had practiced an entire week with a certain package that he was going to be a big part of. And then on Friday, you find out he can't play. Jabari Mann stepped up and filled in for Riley's role and played their tails off. So if something of that situation happens, then somebody has to just step up and relish their opportunity. I don't have feelings either way towards what one person makes a decision-wise. And I believe this, and I sell this in recruiting all the time. When you lay out all the information and you make a choice, and it's a passionate decision, that is the right choice. It's not wrong. You can't look back 6 months from now and say, I wish I'd have done something different, because during that 6-month period, you got complacent and you made that the wrong choice. If you choose today not to play, that's the right choice for you, and freaking double down, and whatever reason that was for, go do it. So, I mean, I'm good with whatever those guys decide, because that's what's happened in this era of college football. So there's no, we haven't had any, I mean, everybody's been practicing their tails off. So, I don't know, we'll see.
Troy and then Jason Barr.
Traded 6 being to 13 All-American, just your thoughts on that and his progression since you've been here at Arizona and just the development you've seen out of him.
I am so thankful, and I don't want to get emotional, but I am so thankful for Traden and Dalton. Those guys have been here, and those two have the chance to be the first two to ever win 10 twice in a career. The guys that were on the 23 team have the opportunity to do that for the first time in the history of Arizona football. And when we were going through this process last December, and Coach B said, you're going to be the coordinator, and I told Coach Arcee, work on Jen, Dalt, and Stooks. Let's do everything we can to recruit them, and I'll build the front, you work on them, and I'll come in and double down. And I spent more time with them, going to dinner, so that they could figure out who I was and who I was going to be as a coordinator. And sell the pitch on your development will be better if you stay with me than go chase something in the portal. And when we got to the second portal window in April, and they both came to me and said, Coach, we're bear down, I'm not going to. Big sissy. The fact that they trusted their last season to me is something that I hold dear to me, and the opportunity that they had to have success, it's freaking awesome. And the fact that they were able to have the success they had and everything that I promised them would happen back in January, I mean, it's going to help recruiting going forward, I can tell you that, because I can get them to recruit now for what we're going to build here. And I'm just so grateful to those two for trusting me and their families. And part of the pitch was, like, this year's not going to be our only year together. Your grandkids are going to have to mess with me. Your kids are going to be a part of my life. Your grandkids are going to be part of my life. That's just how I do this. And so they're screwed.
Jason Barr and Michael.
When the defense has played as well as it has in the second half of games this year, it definitely makes the coordinator look pretty good. What do you attribute this to? Is this motivational speeches? Is this adjustments at halftime? Is this conditioning? Is this something else? How do you account for your defense playing so well in the second half?
You want to hear them make fun of me? We stink and don't listen to what we're supposed to do. And then when I yell at them again and they do what we're supposed to do, they do it, and it works. We have a little bit different moniker because we do things different. Like a triple option team, you have an idea of how they're going to attack you. We do things differently. We give people different pictures. So early on, seeing what they're going to do. In a couple of games, Baylor, we didn't tackle well early. Cincinnati, we had 3 or 4 missed assignments that led to 140 yards on 8 plays in the first half, in the first quarter. We did not play well enough against BYU and Houston. We played really good for 2.5 quarters against BYU, and in the fourth quarter with 11 minutes to go, we didn't. And that's my fault. I wasn't aggressive enough. Blame me for not being in the CFP this year. I was not aggressive enough in those moments. But what we've got is we've got great coaches on the sideline that can teach and adjust and do it in real time. And I said this a long time ago, the tablets on the sideline I'm not a big fan of because I think it makes average coaches better. Elite coaches can make those adjustments without having that apparatus. We used it a couple times to advantage, but it doesn't matter if you can see the problem if you can't fix it. And our guys were able to listen to what I wanted to do and be able to teach the kids in a moment that quick to be able to get it done. And so give our 4 assistants on defense a ton of credit for being able to relay the message during that moment. And then the communication that we have on game day from both in the box and on the sideline is really elite. It really is. And so we were able to do those things, and it gave us success. And then, like I said earlier, Seth gave us enough time by sustaining drives to make those corrections, which when you're going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and you don't have an opportunity, it makes things really difficult. Now you're relying on the play caller to do all of it. And that only happened a couple times. And the best part is, and I talked about this, I sat up here the week after Hawaii, and I said we have a 3rd and 2 where I called a defense that should have fit out perfectly to what we do, and they didn't execute it because we hadn't practiced it. In my mind, I knew how it would fit up, but we hadn't done it. By game 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, we had come far enough along that they were able to do it at that moment, and so stuff I could call that we didn't practice, they were able to execute. So give the coaches the credit again and the evolution of the system, which is fantastic.
Michael and Justin.
What did you see in Max Harris when he was in the portal, and what has he brought to the ball club?
I saw how aggressive he was. He has an innate ability to slip blockers. And then you could see on the TV copies of the Texas State games how vocal he was as a leader. He was the one walking up to the line of scrimmage making checks. He was the one turning to the secondary. So I knew his football IQ from both watching him in the All-22 and then watching him on the TV copies, who he was without speaking to a coach. And then they all raved. They didn't want to lose him, but they all raved. I mean, they got gutted, that Texas State team. I mean, GJ did a great job with those guys, and they had a bunch of them. There was D linemen at Colorado, D linemen at Purdue, D linemen, Max Harris here. They had a ton of Power 5 kids, so give them credit for developing them. And then Max was a freaking unbelievable football player, and then he came on the visit, and just that 24-hour period, I knew he was somebody that would come in here and have a huge impact. Very similar with Riley. Now I had a connection with Bobby Houck, so I knew what he was prior to him getting here. And then spending a little bit of time with them, you can get a feel. Because I'm pretty opinionated, obviously. And so if they rub me the wrong way, I'm moving on. I mean, I won't take a chance of bringing somebody in that'll ruin this culture.
Justin and Jason Shearer.
So what have you seen out of SMU on tape, and I guess what kind of coaches Rhett Lashley, do you have a relationship with him?
I've met Rhett a few times. So Rob Likens, the wide receivers coach, he's got like about 100 titles. It's really cool. He was the offensive coordinator when I was up in Tempe. And so I know the demeanor that they're going to play with. I think Rhett is an unbelievable coach and play caller. And so the challenge of going against him, I mean, that was a CFP team last year. And if they beat Cal, they're going to play Virginia for a chance to be a CFP team this year. They built that thing, like Seth said, up front on defense. Their D-line is elite looking. Their offensive line is going to be as pretty as we've seen all year. Kevin Jennings is one, you guys talked about it, it's continuity. He's been there and going to stay there. I just saw that deal where he says he's going to stay, so there's no reason for them to fret going into the bowl game. They know what they're going to have next year, just like us with Noah. And I think he's very similar to Noah in the fact that he's very active in the backfield and can make plays and keeps things going. So Jordan Hudson, number 2, their wide receiver, that's freaking elite as can be. Those two have a connection like Noah and K. Hut. And when things are breaking down, it was Maryland, the tight end, or Hudson. That's who they're going to find. That's who Kevin's going to find. And so he's thrown for 3,300 yards. He's thrown for 26 touchdowns. He has thrown the ball to the other team 10 times, so we've got to find ways to get him off his spot and see if we can go make some plays in coverage, because we're 3rd in the country in passes intercepted. So to be able to catch Notre Dame, we're going to have to do that. And the only way you do that is to get him rattled. He doesn't rattle easy, so it's going to be an unbelievable challenge, because they are probably the best offense. I'm going to say probably. They're the best offense that we played all season. Statistically, they're right there with Baylor. And so we're going to have to be as physical as we can on that day and find ways that we can try and confuse Kevin Jennings, and that's going to be really, really hard to do.
Jason Shearer and then Troy.
We're talking to Mays today. What did you see from him this season, and was he what you expected, or did his kind of trajectory get maybe a little faster than?
A lot faster. Coach B said it with Lotto. It's really, the closer you are to the football, the harder it is to play as a true freshman. From your lines to your quarterback. The further you get, running backs, wide receivers, DBs, your athleticism can make up for strength. Your athleticism and speed can make up for, physicality. You can't inside. And for a true freshman to do what we've asked him to do, it's unbelievable, and his future is bright. The fact that he's already told me he's coming back is one step in the right direction of the culture that we have, and both by Coach Salavea and what we're doing on as a football team, because his ceiling is, there's no roof. He's super strong. He's athletic. He can stand up. He can play off the ball. He's violent for a true freshman. He was able to knock around fourth and fifth year players. And then his personality. He's so fun to be around. Mays Pese is, a name that the city of Tucson needs to learn now, and they're going to remember forever because he's got a chance to be a fantastic player.
Troy and then Jordan.
These, extra practices and bowl prep, it's key time to see what younger players have. What have you seen in the secondary? Because you do have some players that are graduating, but you have some young players that have shown moments throughout the season. And how critical is this time for them?
Super critical, because as we get into the portal season, seeing what we have and then what we have to replace, those guys have a great opportunity. Gavin Hunter has already proved he can play at an elite level in the Big 12. He has handled the Trayton Stukes situation more mature than any player I've ever been around. And so I'm super excited because now I've got a starter that I know I don't have to find to replace. Coleman Patton. Patman has done a fantastic job as a true freshman, like Sawyer Anderson, living in Genesis and Trayton and Dalton's back pocket and understanding every chance, or every situation, every opportunity. And then Dejon Hinton, he's freaky athletic. He's coming off injury. He's as physical as they come. So we're really excited about those three and what we've seen them do. You've got Swade Griffin, who we have to decide where he's going to play, because he's super fast, he's super twitchy, and he can play multiple roles back there. We get the opportunity to have Javion Cole back, who's going to be the best returning corner in the Big 12 next year. That is, we'll figure out Marquise, if we can get him healthy. Everybody knows how talented in the league he is. So if we can keep him healthy, there's an opportunity for him there. And then we've got a couple guys. Zaire's coming in, Hyler. We've got some pieces there that we need to figure out. This bowl practice for the safeties is huge, because then, and we're doing more. We're not tackling all the way to the ground, but we're playing more real football than we have because of the kind of mini camps, the way we've set this up. They're having an opportunity to see whether or not they can do it in space. Now, the only way you can actually do it is on live reps. So we can tackle the hell out of a bag, I can promise you that. We'll see.
Jordan and Michael.
What stands out to you about this recruiting class and just able to sign on your side of the ball?
Here's the best part of this recruiting class. And everybody's going to talk about their 6 4-stars, they're 35th in the country, they're the highest rated class that we've had in the history of the school by person. The best part about this class is the majority of those 4-stars weren't 4-stars when we were recruiting them. We evaluated them. We didn't care who was recruiting them. We decided. And then they continued to play well and do everything that they did their senior year. So I think we've got a bunch of hungry, really good football players. 12 or 13 of them are going to be here in the next week and a half, 2 weeks. And some of those guys are going to have a chance to contribute for Team 123. And so taking 18 to 22 freshmen every year gives you a chance to be a developmental program. We're going to have to replace some pieces, the Tias, the Deshaun's. Thank God we get Trey Smith back. Trey Smith's going to be the best D-lineman in this league next year, I'm telling you. Mark it down now. And I cannot wait to see the development of that young crew. We're going to continue to take 18 to 20 every year so that we can just keep reloading every single year and have a chance to compete for the top of this league.
We'll finish up with Michael and then Justin.
I asked this of Seth as well. Looking ahead a little bit to the portal, what you know you're going to lose, what you think you might lose, what are some positions where you feel like we might need to bring in some veteran reinforcements?
Well, it's going to start with corner. We've got Javion Cole coming back that has played a significant amount, and I think he's going to be one of the best, if not the best corner coming back in the league. So we've got 2 spots there because we played this year pretty much with a 3-man rotation, which I feel comfortable with. Now we were able to survive some injury. I mean, Javion Cole had an issue for 2 weeks where he couldn't play, and AG and Mike did a fantastic job during that time. We slid Dejan out there to give us some depth. We've slid Swade out there at times to give us some depth, and we haven't had to use those guys. So there's a need there. Obviously, with Dalton and Traden, getting some gained experience in that room to come in and compete with Dejan and Coleman and Gavin will be a priority. And then I think we're going to be better up front next year than we were this year by personnel. Now, did they play better and make more plays? We'll see. I mean, you're having to replace the leading interior lineman tackle for last guy in the entire country into Sean McKnight. Tia Savea has played fantastic, and I can't wait to see Tia play in the bowl game. He's practiced the last couple of days, so he looks like he's going to have an opportunity to play, which will be fantastic for him to be able to come back from what looked like a really gruesome injury against Baylor or Kansas. So, and then at linebacker, we're going to lose Riley. We're going to lose Max. So Jabari will step in and fill Max's role. Myron's coming back once he gets done with his surgery and rehab and all that stuff. And then we've got to find somebody to replace Riley's spot. So those are the biggest needs right now, immediate. But last year, I stood up here and said we need 4 or 5 D linemen. We need to go find a couple corners. We need to go find 4 or 5 linebackers. We're not doing that this year. We've got some depth. We've got some interior or incoming freshmen. And then we've got 4 or 5 spots to be elite, I sat up here last March and said we want to be a top 15 defense. We're 16 right now in total and 10 yards per play. We want to be a top 5 defense next year. And I think we have the pieces coming back if we can fill a couple holes. And then we have a generational quarterback in Noah Fafita, who has the chance to be he's already set records for the most touchdown passes, he's going to be statistically the best quarterback to ever play here, the most winningest quarterback to ever play here, and the best part is he's going to be the best quarterback to ever play here and wants to be here, has chosen to stay here, has chosen the University of Arizona, has chosen Brent Brennan, has chosen Seth Dagey. Dash Fafita is going to be a baller and have a chance to play next year as a true freshman. It is, don't get me started because I love the constructive criticism because I love when people tell me there's something I can't do, okay? And I love when there's people that are negative of our program because that means that they care. What I don't love is when people out there are mean and, when somebody uses, when somebody compares somebody to having Down syndrome as a negative descriptor, it's a bad human being. When they want to use the term as a dwarf, it's a bad human being. Like, why be mean as a person? There's no need for it. Constructive, criticize and all that stuff, but don't go down that path. So keep bringing the constructive criticism because it drives our football program. And now, what we're going to have to avoid is Team 123 coming back with, we've arrived. Well, we haven't arrived. We haven't done nothing yet. We won 9 games. We have a chance to win 10. We haven't won a championship. And that's when the job will have a chance to move on.
All right, final question,
I know it's a different stadium, but how do you reflect on your time in San Diego and just what are your favorite memories there?
Here's the best one. Snapdragon Stadium. J.D. Wicker, the AD there, did a fantastic job going through the process of raising money and getting that thing built. Now I'm going to make J.D. mad, and that's okay. Rocky Long deserves credit for that thing being built. From 2011 as the head coach until 2019, winning 3 conference championships, the winningest coach in that at that school since Don Coryell. All the things that Coach Long did and fundraising and all those things to help get that thing built. And Sean Lewis is doing a fantastic job. Brady Hoke won 12 games, did a fantastic job. So JD obviously has done a fantastic job as an athletic director to build a freaking unbelievable stadium. My time there from 11-17 was fantastic. We loved the city of San Diego. Living there is awesome. It's expensive as hell. I mean, hard to afford it, but you can go to the beach all day long and it doesn't cost you a penny other than parking, which was what we were doing as a family. The sweat, blood, and tears that we put into that place. And when they were talking about they're going to build this beautiful stadium and they're going to tear down Qualcomm and they're going to build it in parking lot and they're going to build what's now Snapdragon. When I was there as an assistant, I'm like, that will never happen in my lifetime. And then I leave and take another job, and like a year later, they're like, hey, we're going to build this stadium. I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'll see it when it happens. And it freaking happened. So I'm excited to go play in it and see what this thing is, and I can't wait. I mean, the University of Arizona, guess what? They won the opening game in that stadium on a day, which is so funny to me, okay? Because living in San Diego, you see, you got me started. Living in San Diego, you pay for the weather. That's like part of the benefit of your salary is the weather, okay? Other than the Santa Ana winds in November, and there's about a 12-day period in August that absolutely sucks. It derails everything because you've got tons of humidity. It's like in the 90% humidity, and it's the only time in the whole year that the temperature gets around 100 degrees. Well, they struck out lucky on one of those. If they would have played that game at 6 p.m., now TV screws up everything, but if they'd have played that game at 6 p.m., it would have been unbelievable. Unbelievable how awesome it was. Blah, blah. There wouldn't have been people dying trying to find water in the stadium and all the stories that I keep hearing from the Arizona people. But guess what? The University of Arizona whooped their tail on that day. So hopefully that momentum will keep, and we'll have some success against SMU. And give Coach Lashley and those guys what an unbelievable season they had. They're 8-4. 3 of those losses came by a combined 7 points, and then the other one was by 11 to TCU. I mean, I am so excited that we have an opportunity to play a big-time opponent in a big-time bowl game in January. The only game after us is the CFP. That's it. So, I mean, this is it's the only game on Fox for the bowl season. I mean, we have every opportunity to shine a bright star on the University of Arizona. It's going to be a 2.5-hour infomercial for the two schools and an opportunity to talk about, to show. Now, we can't go lay an egg. Team 122 can lay itself to bed that night and kick off for Team 123 to have a chance to go win a conference championship and play in the CFP. That's what we want to do at the University of Arizona because of Brent Brennan. So I appreciate all you guys do and what you guys done and showed up all year. So now here's where I have to double down on the AZ12 podcast, okay? Back the A. Get every single assistant coach to appear on that show. I promise you they will. They will change their schedule to be on that show. Spears and Ollie, have them on during the offseason. Have them on there talk. Make Brett work his freaking tail off getting coaches talking about football from January until August, okay? Now, we'll give basketball because they're going on a freaking unbelievable roll. I hope Coach Lloyd came and talked to our football team and talked about, yeah, everybody wants to go undefeated. Nobody goes undefeated. Well, freaking A, Coach Lloyd, go undefeated. Why not? I mean, it's almost impossible, but you have a chance. You freaking got a freaking unbelievable team. It's so fun to watch those guys, okay? So get on everything. I mean, with Damon Dog and Kevin, we need to be on that podcast up in Phoenix. Like every opportunity to put an assistant coach from the University of Arizona in front of a microphone, and hopefully they don't talk as long and as much like me, but put it out there so that Casino del Sol will be full, so that you guys are excited as hell when we get to the fall of 23 about fall of 26 for the 123rd football team at the University of Arizona. Bear down.